Hello, and welcome back to the layout video. This layout, in my opinion, is one of the favorites that I've ever built. This took about 2 days to construct entirely. And let's just say, last night I spent a bit too much time working on it. It was late when I got to bed, I'll say that much. I'm just going to get straight into the layouts and go to the first place I constructed. And that would be the China Clay Works. So I'll go over there and do that now. Of course, here's an overview. And apparently Gator still isn't working, so let's just come down and look at the China Clay Works. So if we go to where James is down here with the goods train, and go on this switch right here, we come into Marion, and then that track just leads away. This T-switch actually is the track that leads up to Mavis, Timothy, and Sir Topham Hatt. So that's pretty much the China Clay Works. It's nothing special. I have a couple lorries here. I got a diesel that, if you got enough of them, could probably be a custom Pip and Emma. But, of course, I only have 2 of them, so no Pip and Emma. But they are really cool Railway Series characters. I think next we're going to go to the second. Pretty much, at first I'm just going to go through the first 3 areas that I have built. And then from there, everything in between will be random. So right here, if we continue straight to the quarry from the diesel's line, or yeah, I haven't really named them. Up to my new dumping depot I got a couple days ago that I mentioned and did a review on. And that continues along to Spencer, which can continue to the Sutterworth Swing Bridge, a destination I haven't used in a while. Down that hill, around that corner, over here, under there is Gator. Don't know why he's under there. We come under here to Reginald. That comes around us some straights, some curves, a cross track. Over this hill, down around, all over there to Connor and Caitlin's line. Goes back past there. This track just wraps around to Billy, which we'll get to later. And this wraps it back around in the quarry. And real quick, we can actually make it to the bottom section of the I cannot speak today, I'm sorry. Right here at so we just go to this switch right here and go down to where New Engine is, which I'll get to later. We come around to where Edward is. That wraps around here to the bottom of the dumping depot, and there's actually a switch right there. It goes to Toby's windmill, which of course is where Toby is. And then this track just wraps back around to Neville. Vinny at the Lighthouse Bridge, right back into the quarry. So now we get into the third area of the docks. It's the docks. I cannot speak today. So I'm just gonna stand up here. Going down Marion's line, we come around a corner. Go up a hill to Donald and Douglas on these viaducts. Down to the clock tower, down to ground level to Captain's shed. Oh dear, I forgot to move his support. 1 second. Okay. Now that looks better. And Captain's there. Now we're here at the docks. This is a bit of a different look for the docks. Usually I have it closer up to the sea, but instead now we're closer to here. Salty and Porter just have some freight cars, and this track goes along to here. But you can actually go from that switch, up over Gordon's Hill where Gordon is, go down to the New Engine, Edward, and so on and so forth. Oh, I'm just not going down the hill. Oh dear. Fixed. Anyways, we have one last section of the docks, the usual docks. We have the shipping company building, V-switch, crossover track where Salty and Porter are. But this switch comes into the dockyards, which is something I haven't done, like, properly done. I didn't want to think of layout into before, but it just, actually, no, yeah. That was in the layout that I never wound up finishing. Well, filming. I finished it, never really liked it. We come to this three-way switch, and we also have a V-switch. This leads to four different sidings. I'm not going down the hill again. I'll fix it later. Anyways, here we have Scotsman on the far line towards the docks. On the far line away from the docks, we have Arthur and just a hand car and a random flatbed, which is actually meant for the breakdown train. It's got a magnet on top. If we go into here and go this track, it just leads to a track to surface ramp. But the other track comes to Percy recreating. Percy takes a plunge. Or is he taking the plunge again? I don't know. I guess we can head back down to where Gordon is. I'll show you what happened. Knocked him down the hill and knocked some cars off. Just put him back on top of the hill and there we go. Fixed. Let's see, where do I want to go next? Let's go on back to the Diesels line. So that continues along up to these two Bria Red bridges. I'll just step back for this, but come up to these two other brand bridges. Sorry if I hit the camera. Where Hero is. That wraps around to where Connor and Caitlin is, except that's Connor's line. This goes down to Whiff. And that wraps straight around, if you don't take any switches, to Dustin. And an accident right here that Butch is cleaning up between Thomas and Ryan. The Hatch Street crossing, back to this T-switch where Gordon's Hill is. Now if we go down that switch right there, we come up to Oliver. This track goes down, around up to where Winston is on the drawbridge, over a Marin Bridge where Rosie is, and then right back to Billy, Sydney, and Edward. If we take this line, we come up to Stafford, where if we go down, we have a switch right here. This looks really cool in my opinion. So this right here, if we go under the Gator, this wraps around back up to the swing bridge. But if we were to backtrack down this way, we come to this station. Also, still haven't found time to glue the other station. Oh dear. We have Hugo and Birdie. This wraps around up to where Ari and Bert are pulling the Scrap Monster. And if you notice how I put the Scrap Monster, you should know that it's supposed to be like this. Which you can also put it like this, but I do also like to put it like this. This track just goes along down to Molly at the swing bridge and straight into the docks. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, the new engine. Let's talk about the new engine. Along with Reginald, I have a new character that I made back around the time of the other layouts. I already mentioned his name in that layout, but I'll really talk about him now. It only sort of dawned on me just now that I already told you guys about him, but this is Barry. Barry's a new tender engine. Well, not new, but I just made him up, which is nice. I guess he could be like Barry the Rescue Engine or something. And again, thank you to Popular Paxton for giving me the idea of the name. The name really isn't mine, so I like to give credit to him for actually giving me the name. Because I was watching this series and heard the name Barry and thought, that's a nice name. So I want to give full credit to him for giving me the idea of the name Barry. Anyways, moving on. If we come over here, we come to this area, where if we go past where Reginald is, the Bria like mountain overpass, go around up to where Spam Can is, down here to Rosie, which just goes back to Caitlin's line. And this line goes to James's line. The only character here is Rocky and Harvey. Trying to think of any lines that I have missed apart from one section I know I haven't shown off yet. So right now I'm going to give an overview real quick and get into the last section of the layout. Oh, right. This is the last thing I did. I mean, it was late. It was like 11 o'clock, maybe 10:30. I'm not even sure at this point. It was probably like 11 o'clock when I started this final section. I was exhausted, but I like how this turned out. So if I just quickly back up and give you a nice overview of the entire layout real quick. Okay, so if you don't notice, right there is a section I haven't talked about. So let me go talk about that section right now. This is an entirely different, there are two gauges on this layout actually. This is my narrow gauge layout. It really isn't anything special. It's kind of like a one-way. Once you're over here, you gotta backtrack to get over there. So we'll start over here in the smaller section. I actually had a lot of fun trying to fit this in. Some things were going to change, like this switch was going to be right here, but then that wouldn't fit, and it would just go over the line. And you get the buffer to stay up because that's a different kind of connector thing right there. And it would just slide out, so had to do something different. This tunnel was originally just going to be right there. Cider mill was going to be over here, and apart from that, there aren't too many changes, so let's just get into it. So right here we have the work shed, and a shed made out of Jenga blocks. It's kind of like that side shed. But I really wanted some useful engine sheds, or special engine sheds, whichever one it is. It's kind of like the ones that don't have like the clear roof on them, like the black roof that slides so you can push the engine out. I hope you know what I mean. Anyway, so in here we have Duke, Fearless Freddy, Bertram, and over here we have Scarloey and Caroline. And oh dear, I completely forgot road vehicles. Hang on a second. Also right here we have Madge and Philip in this kind of countryside area. Oh dear, okay. Let me just real quick do road vehicles and talk about one last thing. Birdie's over there. Harold's right there. The two lorries over there that I talked about. Captain over there. Yeah, that's about it. I missed a whole lot more. I didn't. Here's Starman's house. With Starman's car, of course. And real quick, I want to talk about this. This is an older Henry. Let me check the date real quick. Looks like a 2003 maybe. Yeah, it's a 2003 Henry. And I'm not saying I will, but I might be using this Henry instead of the CGI Henry for maybe the next 2 or 3 seasons of my series. I'm not saying this will be what I do, but I actually like this Henry compared to the newer Henry. But the CGI engines are really accurate, so I also really like this Henry. So, oh, sorry, it's the camera. Okay, so I might be using him for my series, but I'm not saying I will. Oh, and also, 2 more characters, actually. Elizabeth is right here in the back. We have Kevin. Our places, I know. And Ashima's in the clock tower. I know I forgot to mention that. Oh, well. We always forget some things. And I have this little, like, squiggly track that just goes around right there. I might change this little area right here. That'll stay. This might not. So this could change. I guess this could be, if I just maybe move Scully back a bit, a reference to the Railway series. I think in that one episode, oh gosh, what was it called? I think it was called, not episode, book. I think it was called Scarlotti Remembers. Yeah, there are a couple references on this layout. Like the Pussy Takes the Plunge reference. And I guess Toby's windmill reference, since I have Toby there. We actually have two different references, well, three now, references on the narrow gauge layout, so let's get into that real quick. Of course, Scarlotti remembers. Now let's get into the other section. This is kind of like the quarry area. So you go over the Marin Bridge to Rusty. We have Duncan, Rusty, Luke, and Smudger here. So going straight, we can go on this switch to Luke. Here we have my 3D Robusto top and hat. Going along this switch leads up into the mine. And then continuing along here comes to the incline, which is nothing really special. It's not how I usually do the incline. It's actually only one riser level tall and only one 8-inch long. I usually make these things about 16 inches long, which is two 8-inch tracks. But I kind of can't help it on this layout. I already used all my stack like ascending like riser support things. I was not really running out of buffers, as these are only a couple buffers I have, but I mean, you get the idea. I use a lot of buffers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And only 1, 2 on the standard gauge layout. But anyways, on to references here. Here, if we take out the top and hat and Rusty being here, really, we have a reference to Blue Mountain Mystery, where Luke is hiding in the tunnel. And over here, we actually have a reference. You're probably wondering, what reference is this? Well, if you just imagine those two cars filled with coal, a reference to the season 11 episode, a one that you could actually watch and enjoy, Duncan in the Old Mine. Pretty much like Duncan wants to go in this mine, but Rusty doesn't let him, but he finally gets inside, thinks he's trapped, finds coal cars, since they needed coal, and then, yeah. But I actually did like that episode, and it's an episode that I would go out of my way to watch if I wanted to. And we also have the Olstead Lumber Mill here. And if you might notice something, for this layout here, I decided to do a new kind of method of track building. So, over there is where I store my track as shown in the 3-in-1 video. So these are all like the 3 main buckets of track that are usually in there. But I think I tried this as a new building method, putting them all out along the side, and I genuinely am very happy I did that. I was gonna sit up on my bed to talk real quick. Because that was much more easy. It was much easier than constantly walking back and forwards, having to get up, step all through the layouts. And I usually don't use, I use a lot of track, but it's not all my track, and I haven't made a layout where I use all of my destinations. I've never made a layout like that. What I hope is if I ever get a bigger space, I'd have to get just more track, and then just build the biggest layout I have ever built. So, yeah. I'm just gonna kind of finish off this layout video. I don't have too much else to say. I'm real quick gonna scan over and make sure I haven't missed anybody, or any tracks, because that'd be a bit odd if all of a sudden I decided, you know what, I feel like uploading a short story on this layout, which I don't plan on doing, and then put an engine on the line that you have no idea about, and then, yeah. unlike some of my other layouts, I don't have like a quarry, like another like quarry area. I was planning on putting like another kind of quarry right there where the sheds of the Narrowgate engines are, but I decided to instead do a Narrowgate layout, which I was very happy with. I like how such a small but nice layout how small but nice it is. And apart from that, I think that's been just about that is the entire layouts. So this has been another Thomas Wooden Railway layout tour. And some other things real quick. I don't think I mentioned this in the last video, but I'm going to talk about some things now. What do I plan on doing soon? I'm actually just going to bring Arthur up so it's not just a bland scene. It's good about talking. Okay, so let's see. What do I plan on getting next? What I plan on getting next is probably a Knapford station. So I have like an actual Thomas Wooden Railway station. Because if you don't know, I don't own a single Thomas Wooden Railway station. Not a single one. And now that I think about it, I have an idea. I think you'll like it too. It's one of the more popular genres of Thomas Wooden Railway videos. Collection videos. So this is me making up on a whim. I think the next video I'm gonna make should be a collection video. I'll make like an engine collection video. And then a destination video. So, apart from that, I don't want to make this video too long. Some of the other videos on my channel are, recently of course, are upwards of almost 30 minutes, 40 minutes long. I'm not sure you always want to watch extremely long content. So, that has been another Thomas Wooden Railway layout tour. And I guess I can make another update video soon, talking about random things. So, anyways, bye for now.